Hello, Geo students. It's Miss Barrett here. I'm just sitting icing my knee, and I thought I would make you guys a little video going over kind of a few of the questions that are on your packet tonight. These questions are going to get you guys ready for your quiz, which is tomorrow. So I'm starting with numbers 3 through 8. Okay, they're all pertaining to the diagram that's drawn. It's a straight line, just put a star by it, with a bunch of points on the line, some congruent and non-congruent tick marks, and so on. So we're going to kind of go through some of the definitions from this unit so far. Number 3 says, name the ray whose endpoint is K, and it passes through R. Okay? The question itself, without even looking at a diagram, tells you what the answer is. If it's a ray, all right, and it starts with K, that means that's going to be the first letter I write down, and it goes through R. That's going to be the second letter I write down, okay? Now, the symbol above a ray is an arrow going in one direction, and the direction it goes in matters. There's no arrow over K because that's where the ray starts, and there's an arrow over R because that's where the ray goes through. Okay? On the diagram, it would be talking about the ray that starts at K and goes forever through R. Alright, so that's what it's talking about. I'm going to erase that so we can use this diagram again. There is a group of kids outside of my apartment. I'm sorry if you can hear them talking. Okay, moving on. Number 4, how many different rays have the endpoint at R? Well, it depends on how you look at it. R is right here where I just drew that arrow, and we definitely have one ray going to the right, so that goes through K and through T. There's one going in the opposite direction. Technically, guys, there's only 2 rays. One that's going to the left, one that's going to the right, but there's a ton of different ways to name them. It says give 4 different names for them. So I'm going to write this over here. I could start with, as long as I'm starting with the point R, okay, I could write any other letter that's on the line. So the one going to the right, I could say RK, or I could say RT. Those are the same rays. Starting at R and going forever to the right. Okay, a couple other ways I could name this. I could say R going to the left, J, or I could say RS. So the 2 red ones that I just wrote down, guys, those are the rays going to the right. It's the same ray. And the blue ones that I wrote, those are the rays going to the left. There's 2 rays, but several different names to several different ways to name them. Then it says name a pair of opposite rays. Opposite rays form a line. They're going in opposite directions. So basically, one of the opposite rays is going to be the one going to the right. Another one is going to be the one going to the left. So just pair together one of the red names and one of the blue names, and you have a pair of opposite rays. I'll say RK and RS. There we go. You could say RT and RJ. You could say RK and RJ, RT and RS. Several different answers there. Now this says name the line in the diagram 2 different ways. A couple different ways to name a line. 2 letters. Only 2 letters. So let's say S and J. I randomly picked 2 letters. A line goes forever in both directions. So you need 2 arrows. I'm going to pick 2 different letters. Let's do R and K. 2 arrows. The other thing you could do is you could actually write out line P, because there is a little cursive P by the line, and technically that also names the line. All correct answers. That was number 5. Number 6. two congruent segments. Congruent segments are marked with tick marks. The only two tick marks that I see in this diagram that are marked congruent are the ones with only one tick mark, which is SJ and RK. SJ, it's a segment, so you just put a bar over it, is congruent to RK. That's number 6. Guys, the notation is so important. No arrows over the segments. Number 7. Fill in the missing words. Points J, K, and T are, I'm going to go with collinear here. Because they're all on a straight line. Okay? Part B, S, R, and M. S, R, M. Those are non-collinear. They are not on the same line. So I would say non-collinear there. Does line P contain point M? The answer to that is no. Point M is out here, not on that line, not on line P. So that does it for numbers 3 through 8. And we're going to move on to our next example. Here we are at number 9. The next one, a couple diagrams. All I want you guys to know for this, besides what the vocabulary is just how specific you need to be when you're drawing, okay? So when it says planes M and N intersecting at line ST, I need everything to be very clearly labeled. Now there is a fancy way to draw this. We want our planes to go through line ST, which means there needs to be 2 points on this line S and T. Here's my fancy way of drawing this. I draw an X through there. I'm going to draw some segments going down. Then I'm just going to connect back. Anytime I hit a block, kind of going back towards the line, that's where you stop. So I have 2 planes, and I don't know how to highlight on this. I'll just kind of go like this. Here's one plane, and here's another plane. All right, big important part though, we need to label that the planes are named M and N. Okay, so here's M, here's N. As long as those are labeled, this would be 100%. Now some of you are looking at that like, I can't draw that, there's no way. That's cool too. Just draw like an open book. Okay, not my best drawing, but you get the idea. Make sure everything's labeled clearly. That would be 100% as well. Okay. Last but not least, well, for this problem. Points F, H, and S are coplanar, but not collinear. Not collinear, okay, means that they can't draw one line through them. So the easiest way to draw non-collinear points is to make a triangle. F, H, and S. They're on the same plane, so we can draw a plane that's containing all of these points. Okay? And it doesn't say the name of the plane, so you don't have to name it technically. I'm just going to put a K for fun, but there we go. 3 points. I can't draw a single line through all 3 of those. They're in the same plane. They're not collinear. Just be very specific when you're doing the drawings. And let's go on. Number 11 and 12, these are some more vocab words. I'm going to try to go through these ones a little quicker. Use the figure to answer the following questions. What's another name for plane P? I could also name a plane using 3 letters. I can pick any 3 points that are on this plane. I'm going to go with D, I'm going to go with F, and I'm going to go with C. That's it. I wrote the word plane and then D, F, and C. I just picked 3 points on the plane. You need to use 3 points. Not 2, not 4, 3 points. Which segment is on line N? Line N is this line right here. The question says, which segment? So, do you guys see a segment on that line? I know I do. Segments have a beginning and an end. So that segment is FD. You could say DF. It doesn't matter the order for segments. Segment is just a bar over the 2 letters. No arrows at all. Okay, now letter C. Name the intersection of plane P and line M. Ooh. Okay. So plane P is this plane that I'm tracing right here. Alright, and line M goes through it. It's kind of hard to see this one, but it crosses right here at F and goes through. So it crosses at F, which means that they're touching at F, and that's our point of intersection. So then looking at the next one, speaking of intersection, what is the intersection of planes X and Y? That's just saying, where do the planes touch each other? Well, they're touching all throughout this line right here. So the answer to this one is going to be line AB. 2 planes always intersect in a line. 2 lines intersect at a point. So lines AB and MN are actually intersecting at point T. And let's continue. Last one, guys. We talked about the protractor in class today, but I want to go over something like number 16, where it says, okay, what's the measure of angle AGB plus the measure of angle DGE? Well, let's go for this. AGB. That angle right there, guys, measuring from 0 going up using the increasing numbers, is going to be 40 degrees. There's my first angle. Second angle they asked me about is DGE. DG to E. Interesting. This one's not right on the 0, so I think the best strategy for this, you guys, is to count. So let's see. Starting with E, we go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 5. Guys, all I'm doing is adding the 2 angles together. 40 plus 55 is 95 degrees. And there's your answer. So same idea with subtracting. If I had something like number 17. I think you guys can handle the rest on your own, but I wanted to make sure to go over one of those. It was requested by someone. So there we have it. There are some problems that I went through. This video is probably longer than you wanted it to be, but hopefully it helped you out with something that maybe you had a question on. Study up tonight, you guys. I have so much confidence. You're going to do great tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Good luck.